If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Welcome, 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 everyone. I am Christine McIver, and welcome to tonight's show. You are on the Inspired Choices Network, or you're listening through the Inspired Choices Network, and you might be listening in one of many, many locations. We are on over 55 live radio stations that you can be listening. You might be even listening on the Inspired Choices Network app. Maybe you're checking us out from Facebook, or maybe you're here in the Inspired Choices Network, or perhaps you're listening on demand in one of the many, many podcast, audio, or TV platforms. You can find us on over 250. This commercial is being brought to you by Christine McIver. I'm so happy you're here. This is the first show of 2022. It was a mouthful, my producer says it was. Oh my gosh. So Inspired Choices Network actually was born. The very first day for Inspired Choices Network was January the 1st, 2017. So our baby, Inspired Choices Network, is 5 years old, just turned 5. Just starting to walk, right? It's so exciting. And each and every one of the shows that I do personally, or any of our hosts do, to me is very exciting, because creation is exciting. Being able to show up and bring to the table, and being confident to bring to the table what you know and to share it with others. I think that's a huge gift. And I know it's a huge gift to me each and every time that I do my show. I know it's a gift to many of my listeners and many of my clients and customers. And it's, truthfully, it's a big gift to me. So I'm very grateful that you are here. Each and every time that I show up to do my show, I show up. And the more that I show up, the more that I show up. And we're going to actually get into that tonight, because tonight's show is the number one task for all business success. It doesn't matter. Sorry, my producer just asked me a question. You didn't walk until you were 5? Okay, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. We're running now. We're possibly riding a bicycle, tricycle, maybe. I don't know. We maybe still have the training wheels on. Kim was advanced, so I'm sure she had those wheels off when she was 2 years old. But anyways, we are definitely 5 years old. I know that for a fact. Where was I? I can't even think where I was. Oh, talking about the title of the show tonight. So it is the number one task for all business success. And it doesn't matter what year you are in business, whether it's your first year, your 5th year, your 50th year. This is and should be paramount in every business owner's mind. And yet I can tell you, having coached a lot of business owners and being in business myself now for 13 years, it's not the number one. It isn't the number one. It's rarely the number one. And it's rarely number one. This specific task is rarely number one for any human being, let alone a business owner. And I really hope that tonight you guys get how important this piece is. It's something that, I know I'm keeping you on the edge, right? It's something that we put off. It's something that we judge when we should. It's something we judge when we shouldn't. We usually only do this for really, really, really important things. And it's the worst thing to hold off on it, even though I'm holding off on it right now. So I'm going to get to it in 1 second. So for everyone that's watching in Facebook, I would love for you to come on over. If you have any questions, inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. And any of you listening, if you're listening in the replay on demand, and you have a question and the show is no longer live, feel free to send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. I'm happy to answer your questions. I love getting your emails. It's great. Okay. We do a lot of things in business, right? We do a lot of things. We set up our domain, we set up a website, we set up an email, we get products or we create services, we get them posted, we set up our profiles, all the different social media areas, and we're constantly in doing and doing and doing. And rarely do we ever do this task. And this is the number one task, okay? The number one task for all business owners is to celebrate. It is so critical and so crucial. And I'm going to tell you all about this as we move forward tonight through the show. But this is the number one task. And I really want to challenge you to stick around to hear all about why celebration is your greatest asset. To celebrate you, to celebrate your business, to celebrate each and every day will create success. Success for you, success for your body, success for your business, success for your bank account, success for your clients. It will permeate out to every single person. So I know I was really leading up to this, but it's so important. And now let me get into telling you why. So we're at the beginning of this year, and it doesn't matter when you're listening because you can begin. I love Mondays because for me, it's a new beginning every single solitary week. It has the same energy for me than the beginning of a new year. But just talking about the new year, many of us, we get new journals. I have a beautiful new journal here. I'll show you. This is called the Sacred Journal. And, in here, putting in different thoughts and ideas. Many of us have journals that we sit with each day and we're looking at what's going on and we're planning. We're doing a lot of planning, and that's great. Planning is very important. And we maybe even do some really big professional strategic planning where we're looking at our entire year. We're looking at all of our finances. We're looking at what our targets are going to be. And then we break those down. Very important. And then we start to execute, right? We start to execute and we're out there, we're executing, we're doing our job every day. We're doing. We're always in the doing space, right? And then we wait and we sit there and we tick-tock away, looking at the time, looking at what we're doing, and we're waiting to see what's going to start to roll in. We're waiting to see what customers, what clients are going to actually choose us. We're waiting to see the numbers at the end of the month for our bank account. We're looking, and we're waiting. We're doing a great deal of execution and waiting to see the outcome of the execution. Doing that without celebration at the center of every single day is like standing there watching the clock, say in a hockey game, and you're watching the clock and you're watching the clock and you're watching the clock and you're watching the clock. Just tap into that right now. What is that energy like? What does that feel like to you? When you're sitting and you're waiting, you're executing, you're trying to hurry and get things done. So you're watching the clock there, and then you're waiting to see the results of your work. It really feels like a very heavy energy of judgment to me, because we've got this push energy towards our creations. Like, why aren't you giving me the results that I'm looking for? Why isn't it here yet? Why, right? It's got all of that energy. And that energy is not creating a pull energy towards you. It's the push out energy. So where are you focused? And if you've listened to me before in business, you know that I'm oftentimes talking about this is, where are you putting your energy? Are you putting your energy? Are you looking within? Are you being inspired? Are you looking to the inspirations within you, or are you looking outside? And the majority of companies are looking outside. They're looking at the stock market. They're looking at their bank account. They're looking at the results. They're very heavily results driven. please do not be misinformed here. Results are important. They're a very important part of the business. But most people, it's that being so results driven is putting the cart before the horse. It really is putting the cart before the horse. You're missing the primary component, the component of celebration. So tell me, when was the last time you celebrated you? When was the last time you celebrated you? Most people might say, my birthday. I was celebrating, or some people will say, well, I celebrated a little bit. I bought myself a Christmas present, right? That's when I celebrated me. Or, on my big last big birthday, I celebrated me. Or some people will say, well, when I graduated from university, I celebrated me. And how many years of work goes into a university degree? Minimum of 4 years, at least. Imagine if you're not celebrating throughout that 4 years. It is like holding your breath, hoping that at the end of the minimum of 4 years, that you will have something to celebrate. Can you feel the intensity of that energy? Then a lot of people will say, the last time I really celebrated me was when I got married, or when I hit this milestone wedding anniversary, or when I paid off my house, or I paid off my car, or did something super significant, right? You know how we talk about having a bucket list? People have bucket lists to accomplish some very, very big things. We have lists to accomplish things each day. We have lists that we want to accomplish each month or each year. If we're really on top of things, we want to have these lists and be working on these lists. But the energy, again, is this push in this judgment. And the celebration energy, I want you to think of celebration energy as oil to grease the wheels of your creation. Celebration energy is what actually shifts and moves things forward. Now, I want you to imagine, before we go to break, I really want you to play with this whole area of celebration. I want you to tap into the last time you really celebrated you, just you, not your kids, not your husband, not your wife, not your business, just you. I want you to tap into that energy. And I want you to tap into how you were feeling. Imagine what you were doing. Imagine the music that was playing, the environment that you were in. Imagine the smells that were in the air. What was going on? I want you to tap into that energy. And I want you to start to pull that energy again towards you. Pull it right now. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. And really pull it in from the aspect to fill up not just you, but the room that you're in right now. I want you to bring those energies in. Okay? You got it? Now, I want you to just close your eyes for a second. Not if you're driving. Don't do this if you're driving. But close your eyes if you can. And I want you to experience those energies with you right now. I want you to feel, how is this feeling in your body? Where is your emotional energy right now? Are you excited? Are you joyful? Do you have tears of joy coming down your face? Can you feel a real excitement energy pumping through your veins? Are you looking forward to the next second of celebration? Are you looking forward? Whatever the energies are that you are experiencing, I want you to imagine that you experience some level of that energy every single day. Imagine that. Imagine that you are celebrating and bringing that celebration energy into your life, into your home, into your body, and then into your business every single day. Will that change the experience you are having with your business? Will it? Well, of course it will. Of course it will. If you come out of worry and if you come out of push energy and task, and I got to get it done, and I got to get it done, and I got to get it done, right? Those energies are absolutely going to change things. And when we get back from our commercial, I'm going to talk about what kind of changes you can look forward to when you have the celebration energy with you every single day. All right. I look forward to having you come back and join me. You are listening to Inspired Choices here on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Christine McIver. If you are watching us on Facebook, please come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, click on the menu bar, and join us in the chat room. All right. I'll see you after the break. Bye for now.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. We are in the middle of our show tonight. Here it is January the 5th, 2022, and we're talking all about the number one task for business success. And this is going to be a show that I really hope you embrace. And I hope you're open to the possibilities of what this can truly do for you first, and then for your business. Okay, so the number one business task for business success is to celebrate. And before we went to break, I was talking about how crucial it is to celebrate and how celebration is your greatest asset. Results are very important, of course, but being so results driven is putting the cart before the horse. And you're missing the celebration when you're doing that. Think of celebration energy as oil to grease the wheels of your creations. It's so important to understand that. And if you are in the chat room and you would like to join in the recording studio, please let our producers know and they'll guide you there. Okay. So what is so important about celebration energy and why is this so critical? Okay, I'm going to give you a little example. I remember when my children would come home from school, and I'm sure many of our parents that are listening out there can relate, or even maybe you'll remember this with your parents doing this with you. And you they would come home from school and you would ask them, how was school today? What did you do? And, when Bobby's really young, he maybe comes in and he says, I made this painting for you, Mom. And they give you a painting. And what do? You don't look at this painting and go, well, that's not very good. You didn't do this right. And, this is not, and you colored outside the lines. No. What did you do? You looked at it and you celebrated the accomplishment. You celebrated. That's so good, Bobby. I love how you did this and how you did this. And you look at it in detail, right? If you want someone to feel great about what they've accomplished and you want to encourage them to continue to move forward, talk to them in detail about what they've accomplished. And then what happens when we do this, especially when with our children or when we were children, is we felt confidence. We felt excitement. And that fueled us forward for the next day. That fueled our children to feel accomplishment, right? Maybe they played some kind of sport. And after the game, maybe the child that made the most goals or baskets or whatever the case may be, maybe everybody's celebrating them and your child came to you or you went to your parents and you didn't feel great about yourself. And they pointed out some critical aspects of how you could celebrate, or you pointed out to your child some critical aspects of the game. And that actually started to build confidence for them because you were celebrating what they were doing. Does this make sense? So imagine if you were willing to do that for yourself, for your business. We all still have that child within us. We all want to be loved. We all want and desire acknowledgement and appreciation. But here's the critical piece, my friends. You, as the business owner, must give that to yourself first. We can't look to other people to give us the lion's share of our acknowledgement. That's our job. That is truly our job. And if we are looking to other people to be giving us the love and affection and attention and acclamations, if we're looking outside of ourselves, we are going to be in a lack energy. Do you get this? We're going to be in lack energy because we're feeling without. We're feeling like we don't have what we are desiring. So how do you start to shift your business success if you are in lack energy? How attractive is lack energy? It's not. And oftentimes when we're in lack energy, we can go into victim energy. And then we're trying to show up and we're trying to do, I got to get more business. Or let's say you have a business where you do a lot of promotion online, which the most businesses are doing now. So you're showing up in lack energy, you're lacking love and attention. And then you think, well, I just got to work harder. I just got to put it out there more. So now you've got this lack energy and you have this push energy. So you're pushing and pushing and pushing. I mean, honestly, if you were standing in front of your prospective customers or clients and you're standing there like, nobody's giving me the love and attention I want. I'm going to just push this at them and push this at them. These are energies. I'm just playing. If you're watching me online, please laugh because I'm laughing at me. But if you were standing in front of your prospective customers or clients, what are they going to think? Like, this person is crazy. First, they've got this pity party going on of lack energy, and then they're trying to shove everything at me. This is not fun. The energies that they're going to pick up are going to be nearly like an abusive energy because you're coming at somebody with these energies, okay? This happens all the time. Places that you walk into or things that you're doing online, right? You know that they are absolutely doing push energy again and again and again, right? And so what do? You leave. you leave that environment. You don't go in there anymore because you don't have a fun experience, a fun memory. Your body will remember the experience. You may not remember the words that were said. You may not even remember what you went in there for, but you will remember the experience, the energies that you felt in your body. All right. You will remember this. And so you're not going to go in there. Well, people will have this exact same experience when you're doing these things online. They're not going to have an enjoyable experience. And every time they see any of your posts coming up, they're going to avoid them. They're going to have an instantaneous reaction. Okay. Now, I want you to imagine if you have 100 friends on any social media platform, and you have even 10% of those people feeling that energy around you and how you're showing up online. Is that going to add to other people being attracted, or is it actually going to add to, because everything is energy and everything's connected, those 10 people's experience, their energy is actually going to weigh down your posts. Everything is connected. Everything is energy. But above that, my friends, when you are showing up without feeling fulfilled, without feeling confidence, without feeling celebration around who you are, your products, your services, and how you are showing up, other people are going to pick that up energetically. You know, we only communicate verbally. Is it even 10%? What we are doing non-verbally is what people are actually picking up. So now I want you to shift over, and I want you to imagine that you are showing up feeling confident, feeling excited about your creation, feeling inspired about what you are doing in the world. You're showing up joyfully. You're showing up with the energy of possibilities. You're being an attractive energy. You're pulling people in because of this energy. Imagine what that is like. We all know people online that we see them. They're not doing anything over the top extraordinary. They're not famous, quote unquote, on the, in movies and some famous artists, but they're showing up with the celebration of being themselves. They're showing up with the celebration of what they are creating. They are a very attractive energy. It's very sexy when you are confident. Well, Christine, I don't feel confident. I'm depressed. My sales are not great. I'm not getting any customers. Okay, I hear you. I understand that. Every business owner has been there at one time or another. That's why, in order to change where you are, if that's where you are on any level, you want to shift over into celebration energy. And while some people might say fake it till you make it, it's a little bit different. It's just a slightly bit different than that. What it is that you want to start to mine for things to celebrate. And as you are mining each and every day for things to celebrate, you are going to begin to find more and more things are popping up to celebrate for you and for your business. So if you're starting out right now and you feel like your energy is super flat, you feel even maybe depressed or really, questioning if you should even be in business, start to find the little things. And one of the little things might be, I got up today, I got out of bed and I got dressed. And really, really celebrate that. If you are able to, and there's I don't have it in front of me right at the moment, but there is a scale, an emotional scale. And if the bottom is death and the top is love, right? And you're anywhere on this scale, and I think there's about 25 or 30 different levels of this emotional scale. If you can shift just one energy higher into a more positive, joyful, confident place, even if you're going from anger to sadness, which is odd, but that shifts. Even if you're doing that, you're starting to change the motion of the energy, and things are going to start to respond to that shift in your energy. So a lot of people will, they'll lay out their tasks, spend a great deal of time listing their tasks. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done many shows talking about this, and certainly will in the future. But most people are not shifting at the end of their day and looking at what they accomplished with excitement, appreciation, and celebration, or starting their day the next day going, all right, look at what I did yesterday. I did this and I did this and I accomplished this, and this is how I felt, and I celebrated this and I did this. They're not doing that. So what's the energy every morning that they're showing up with? They're showing up with, okay, we got to go. All right, let's do it again. And it's nearly like trying to lift weights again and again. All right, I'm just going to lift these weights, but I'm not going to actually look at my accomplishments. And my friends, that's the hardest thing to do, is to try to lift every single day without that celebration energy. It is the hardest thing to do. And many of us can do it. I know I did it for a really long time. I was not celebrating in my business until I landed a big client, or I got, some big new creation on its legs. I wasn't doing that until something huge was happening. Well, that is actually the opposite thing. It's the small things that build and build and build. And as you are celebrating each of these steps, that's where those bigger celebrations can come even faster. Okay, we are up to our next break of the show. Please stick around. I've got a lot more I want to share with you. You are listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices Show here on the Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be back right after this break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I absolutely appreciate you taking the time. And if you're listening in the replays, thank you for clicking and thank you for listening or watching. So tonight we are talking about the number one business task in order for every single business, in order for them to have business success. And we've been talking about a lot about energy. The energy that you have within you contributes to the energy of your business, which actually can attract or propel future clients, future customers, or even just have people interact with you on social media, which is the primary place where many people are doing their business. Even if they have a physical shop, they're still having a presence online because we know how important that is. So have you ever shown up to a party and you've walked in the door and you were in a terrible mood? Maybe you had a fight with somebody right before you went there, but you put a smile on your face. And so you kind of walk in. If you're watching, you'll get what I'm saying. So you kind of walk in, you're like, hi, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And it's like you're painting this smile on your face. You're not really in joy. You're not really in celebration. What you are in is a lot of crap. And while people will see the smile on your face, maybe the smile in your eyes, maybe your beautiful outfit, they will pick up on something's not right. Now, even the most novice energy reader will know something is off. Something's off with Christine. I don't know what it is. She's smiling, but I don't think she's happy. I think there's something wrong. You can pick up on that energy. Well, my friends, you can pick up on that energy in people's posts. The energy that you bring when you are on social media, when you are posting, is equally, if not greater, than the words that you use, than the images that you post. And I want you to understand that when you have celebration energy with you all the time, no matter what is happening, what you are putting out there to the world is going to show up more in an attraction energy. Okay. Here's the thing. Even when we're talking about clients and customers and having your business grow and having your business be financially prosperous and making connections with all sorts of people, your personal experience in your day-to-day is critical, isn't it? How many of you out there left jobs because you were not happy with what you were doing? You left jobs to actually start your own business. Many, I would probably say, I don't know, more than 75% of businesses started because they didn't like their boss, or they didn't like the way that things were done at that business, and they knew that they could do something easier, better, more productive. They wanted to have more self-satisfaction in their day-to-day work. Now, I want you to imagine, as a business owner, it's not always easy, is it? There are days that are tough. There are days that you question, did I do the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Do I still want to do this, right? Those days it's normal to have those days. It's absolutely normal. But what if you had those days and yet you were still celebrating what you accomplished, right? I can tell you myself that when I'm writing down, I actually started this year, I didn't put down any goals. I didn't put down any resolutions that I wanted to accomplish. I actually decided, and it came to me, it was so cool. I decided that I wanted to put down a vow. I wanted to make vows to myself. I wanted to make the ultimate promise to myself of things that I wanted to accomplish each day. I wanted to, and I'm always looking to reach for and grow myself. I'm looking to personally do development of me, because I know when I'm doing that, I'm adding to my personal experience of my life. And I'm also adding to my business, right? Always you first, then your business. If it's the other way around, you're always going to be shortchanged, and that energy is going to be very difficult to shift. Okay. So always you and then your business. So this year I wrote down 5 vows that I am going to accomplish, target, really put focus into accomplishing Monday through Friday for the month of January. Now, at the end of January, I'm going to look at these accomplishments and I'm going to look at, am I going to continue to choose these vows? Am I going to change them, or am I going to add to them or take away from them? That's my target for this year. And so what I am doing each day as I start my morning is I am writing down what I have vowed to myself to accomplish. And I'm also writing down what I accomplished the day before. I am celebrating each morning. I am starting my day celebrating me, celebrating what I have accomplished, and celebrating the successes that I am targeting to hit. That energy, it's so inspiring for me. And today was a little intense day for me. I don't know about you, but I had an intense day and I actually had a really bad headache. And I was like, okay, it's time to do a little bit of self-care. It's time to just step away. I just took a little nap and I just allowed my body to relax so that I could do my show tonight. And now here I am celebrating the accomplishment. It would have been so easy for me to say, you know what? I've got a headache, forget it. It's been a tough day, just to heck with it. No, I am very focused on having more things to celebrate. And as I have more things to celebrate, I am enjoying my experience of my day, my experience of me, and my experience being and working within my business, working with the team members on ICN, working with the hosts and with all of the guests that come in and all of the listeners. I personally am having a greater experience because I am bringing celebration energy with me in every single task that I do. Now, there are some people out there that have said in the past that I always, I'm a glass full person. That's well and fine, but you can still have really super challenging days where it doesn't feel like you have, you can see the better side of things. But when you are consciously choosing and understanding what consciously choosing celebration energy can do and gift to you and your body and your business, that starts to change everything. It starts to change everything. You start showing up with more joy. You start to experience challenges in a different way because you know what it feels like to experience joy and celebration. You meet joy and celebration every single day. That becomes part of who you are and how you're choosing to be and show up for you in your world. You're not looking to people outside of you. You're not even looking to your customers and your clients. You're not looking to your bank account to have something to celebrate. You're choosing celebration first. You're choosing celebration first, which is going to create a different energetic vibration that you are putting out to the world. Now, in very simple terms, we all know what the law of attraction is, right? The law of attraction is like begets like. So if you are in the space of celebration, you're going to have more things to celebrate. If you go out in the world and you are looking for something to be angry about, you're going to find it. It's going to show up very easily. If you go out into the world and you're looking for the beautiful things, the amazing things, the nuggets in the world to have joy around, you're going to find them as well. Here's the thing, my friends, you have choice. You have choice around every single solitary experience that you have. You cannot blame anything in your life or in the world for how you're choosing to experience you. How you're choosing to show up for you, that's on you completely. And you could have had the worst life possible, but guess what? You're responsible for your joy. you are responsible for how you show up in your life. And if you want to shift something and you want to keep moving forward and growing and having more joy in your life, and most certainly in your business, it's up to you to take that responsibility seriously. It is no different than if you want to be able to sleep, you've got to change things maybe in your home, in your bed, maybe what time you're going to sleep, maybe what time you're getting up, maybe what you're ingesting into your mind before you go to sleep. If you want to have a stronger body, it's your responsibility to do the work. You can't go to the store and say, yeah, I'd like easier legs and I would like you. No, you can't farm any of this out. This is completely and totally up to you, and you are completely responsible for it. So if you want to have more things to celebrate, find more things every single solitary day to celebrate. That energy is waiting for you. That energy is there for you to choose. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay in victim energy? Are you going to stay in anger energy? Are you going to go out there on social media and get like, oh, what are people putting out there? I want to fight. No, stop it. Stop it. We together can shift all of this. But it starts with us. It starts with us individually. And then that starts to permeate out. And it starts to create a different experience you have with yourself each and every day. And most certainly with your business. If you want to have a successful business, get into the habit of celebration. We're going to talk about a few more things before the show comes to an end. We're just up to our last break of the show. Stick around, my friends. I would love to answer any comments or questions you have. Join us in the chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. And you can even ask to come on live and ask me a question. So you're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. I'm really having a lot of fun with tonight's show. And what's so cool is that it's easy. That's the part for me that's so easy, is that you can change and shift the success of your business. It's all within your hands to do. And it's more than just putting on a smiley face. It's actually acknowledging things along the way and celebrating. Like maybe you're not going to be all celebration energy, but what if you actually gave yourself a pat on the back? What if you actually said, you know what? you did good today. You know what? You accomplished. Look at how much you accomplished. That was, yeah, maybe you didn't accomplish your big numbers, but you really accomplished a big task today. Or maybe, you know what? You felt like crap, but you kept showing up. You showed up. That's great. That shows commitment to you and to your business. You know, that's one of the hardest things as a business owner, to actually hold ourselves accountable, like, and show up like we would if somebody else was our boss. All right. It's things shift when you're your own boss. And so acknowledging all of these steps that you take each and every day is so, so important. Don't wait for those huge accomplishments to celebrate. Allow yourself, give yourself the luxury of celebration energy so that you can enjoy yourself and your business more and more every day. That energy is going to permeate out to the world. It's going to permeate out. You're going to be a joy for people to choose to work with. You're going to be someone that they look forward to connecting because of the energy that you be. Now, I'm very much an extrovert. And, you know, I can be an introvert. I spend a lot of time on my own and I enjoy that. I am oftentimes much of an extrovert, but you don't have to be like me to celebrate. Bring in the celebration energy that matches you, that works for you. Allow that energy to contribute to you. Allow yourself the acknowledgement of your successes. Allow yourself to look at every aspect of what you are doing so that, again, tomorrow, when you begin your day, you actually look forward to it. And you look forward to it in a way that contributes to fuel you forward throughout your day. You, my friends, are brilliant at what you specialize in. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. And you're waiting for someone to acknowledge what you're doing. You're going to be waiting a very, very long time. What's so important is, and people will acknowledge you more and more for what you accomplish when you begin to acknowledge you and you celebrate how brilliant you are, that you showed up again and again and again, that you continued to do your good work at whatever it is that you do. The world requires more joy. The world requires more things to celebrate. Would you be willing to contribute that to the world? Would you be willing to contribute that to your business and your customers and your clients? But most importantly, would you be willing to contribute that to you and your body? You showed up in this body. You didn't show up here to be miserable and angry and have a terrible life. You showed up here to have an experience. The whole reason to show up here in body is to have the energy of love. We're all seeking it. We all desire it in many different areas of our life. Guess what? You came in solo. You're going to go out solo. And you have the sole responsibility to find something to be joyful about, to find something to celebrate each and every day. Start with baby steps. Start with 2 or 3 things to celebrate each day. You know, smell the beautiful scents in the air. Enjoy the beautiful touches that you touch each day. Appreciate and look around and say, look at what I've created. Look where I am today. Look at where I've come from. Inspired Choices Network is 5 years old. You know what? I didn't know I was going to have this accomplishment in my life. I didn't know that. And there are times when I get really overwhelmed with joy. Here we go. The tears are trying to come out. I get really overwhelmed with joy and celebration from what I have accomplished. Yes, there's been many people who have contributed to our success, but I have to acknowledge that I chose to say yes, and I choose to show up and have shown up every single solitary day for me and for my business. We can all find more things to celebrate. Thank you for being here. Next week, we're going to be talking about business owners resist more than they create. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a kick-ass show. So, my friends, until next week, remember.
Thank you for
You always
choosing
make
to listen
another
to
choice.
Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.
Bye for now.